Hey everyone, welcome to the Sound Test Podcast. This is the host, Bryan, here. Remember, the Sound Test Podcast is the only podcast where we take your waifu and throw them in the trash. Today, I am joined by a panel.
I don't settle with that.
We finna fight.
I'm here with a panel of extraordinary black men, as we like to call ourselves. DeYante. Thank you for your contribution. Clayton.
Watashi wa keiki da yo.
Thank you for that. Still don't know what that means. I still don't know what that means.
I called myself cake.
What?
I am cake.
Why?
I got them calories, baby. I got them calories.
Max is here.
Hey, what's up?
And joining us is our friend as well, Dontae. How you doing, Dontae?
I'm here. Pretend I'm Dontae because he just stepped out.
Oh, great. God, like I intentionally waited to call him last.
He's like, all right, I want to be on the podcast, y'all boys. Everybody's like, all right, cool, great. And we start, and he's like, I don't want to do this shit no more.
It's Dontae here, Dontae Nicholas May. I'm doing Dontae things.
It's like it's like you know, it's the start of the show. It's like, all right, introducing Beyonce, and then like her sister comes out. Is like, hey, she had to come. Hey. She had to step out for a little bit. So y'all give it like 10, 15 minutes. She'll be back.
Yeah, she'll most definitely be back.
So y'all saw that new Marvel movie, and like they're just doing small talk, trying to eat up time.
It's like, come on, just get it going.
Imagine doing that at a Beyonce concert, and I pay $5,000 just to lick her left elbow. No, I don't want small talk. I want ash being thrown into my face.
Look at you, spoken like a true straight man.
You and I both know that damn well isn't the truth. Alphabet Mafia gang.
Okay, well, I guess we're just going to
let's continue on. He'll be back.
Okay. Well, today on the Sound Test Podcast, this one's a little less organized and scripted. Well, less planned out. We're going to talk about our experiences at Momocon 2022, which was held in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
and well, let me start off. For me, this is my first experience at Momocon. Clayton, was this your first time as well?
No, this is my second time. I went with Max. I think it was in 2017, 2018.
One of those years before COVID.
Okay,
True.
so y'all went to it before.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so this was my first time experience. And then DeYante, he just said he just didn't like us, so he didn't come.
Yeah, he couldn't catch that express flight. He couldn't catch that express flight.
He was like, "Hey, y'all boys, I'm gonna start walking there now. I'm in Virginia. I'm gonna start walking there."
You know what happened? Gosh, I had cold chills and a headache all weekend, so there was no telling if I was gonna make it or not.
But he braved the elements and only made it halfway through.
I was like right at the Coca-Cola factory, and I was like, I can't do this
Bro,
anymore.
if you made it to the Coca-Cola factory,
bro, and just said F it and walk back, like,
because that joint's like down the street, like you're there.
You're there.
I don't have it in me to go. I'm gonna go home
and walk all the way back.
Just walk all the way back.
Them calves will be toned by the time you get back to Virginia. I'm telling you.
Well, your legs gonna be ready to fall off at that point.
Be ready for another 4 years at Cookman.
You're gonna march all the way back to Virginia.
Right.
90s, don't drop.
90s all the way there and back.
And,
You're gonna die. You're gonna pass out once you get there and die.
and you better point and
Got
drive.
to do
Ooh.
a show in Momocon.
I can only imagine what your shoes would look like at the end of that.
No, it's not going
What
to be
shoes?
like any bottom. Like, it's just going to be straight. It's just going to be the
It's
socks.
my soul.
He could be wearing the nicest J's. Them shit's gonna look like fucking sandals by the time he get
I
back.
mean, J's aren't comfortable though. J's are not good. They're stylish, but they ain't comfortable. Oh, look who it is. He's back. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we
Dark
stalled.
anime.
We
No.
stalled. We stalled enough.
Right, we saw long enough.
And now introducing our guest for today, Dontae.
Yo, fashionably late. Yes, sir. It's nice.
not sure about that.
Artist that you were
Great
here.
to be here.
Okay, hold up. So, like, when you heard me counting down, did you just like, oh, I gotta go, and just walked out? Like,
I always like I heard my family call me, and my dog had an accident in the basement.
oh no.
Yeah, because she was busy playing with another one of the family dogs, and they were having so much fun. She forgot to go pee, so she had an accident right on the floor.
Damn.
Imagine as a human, I forget to use the restroom.
Like, I'm having so much fun that I just
Forget
piss
to go to
myself
the bathroom.
right now.
Gaming,
no
you ever
way
play
for
like
me to
Majora's Mask, and you're like, "Damn, I got to shit," and then you just do it right there.
Which leads us into today's topic, Momocon and our experience.
Oh God.
Oh my god. So yeah, this was actually my third time going to Momocon.
So for one, it was kind of unplanned. I was in Georgia. So just peeking behind the curtains a little bit. The reason we do the podcast remote is because we're all like in different areas. I'm based in Florida. Clayton and Max and Dontae's based in Georgia, and DeYante in Virginia. So that's one of the reasons, we do this, but we're all college friends. We've known each other for years. So there's some times where, hey, we get to actually be together, chill, relax, and, get to actually like hang out in person. And it just so happened I was in Georgia for the weekend, and it was Max's idea. It was like, hey, Momocon is happening. We can slide to that. And for me, my only experience with a con was, God, I cannot remember the name of the con.
It was at 2020.
Yeah. No,
It was like
it was 2015.
no, but
No.
no, the convention was called 2020.
No, it was.
Oh, yeah, it was called
2050.
20 something. Yeah.
It was 2050. I still have the shirt.
2050. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, the con was called 2050, and it was held in Daytona, and I think it was like the first year that con like was a thing. And
Yeah, I don't know if it lasted past that. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Did it have a bunch of I'm not gonna say entrance, but did it have a bunch of people participating like at the con?
Yeah, there was a good
It
amount of
was
people
an
in the
okay amount.
Yeah, it could be bigger. I mean, from the world's most famous beach, you'd expect more, but it was a fairly decent con, and
but it wasn't bad.
yeah,
I remember when we were actually like working trying to get everybody to go, but it was like a task and a half because everybody was doing something different. And some of us just couldn't go at all.
Well, yeah, because it was our anime gaming club that was basically the help for the event, and we were stationed all around, but we also got to get to the sessions and get to the actual vendor hall and stuff like that. So that was my first experience of a con, even though I know that was like nowhere near the scope of Momocon.
I'm so sorry.
So this was like the for real legit experience for me. So
I still haven't had one at all.
well, we got you next year. We're gonna make sure you go next year. But I just want to, before we get into like the specific things that we did or we went over, I just want to know what y'all like overall experience. How was the experience with you all?
I had a ton of fun. It was a bunch of dumb fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself the entire way. It was only one day. We only went Saturday, for a 4-day con. It started on Thursday and ended on Sunday.
Yeah, we were
But-
only on the Saturday for clarification.
Yeah, but Saturday's by far the biggest day. And I honestly, like, I think I had, even though I only went one day for this, I think this is the most fun I've had at Momocon.
Because you wanted to actually do everything at one time that you possibly could versus like just
Actual squad. I had an actual squad of people to go with. Like last time I went with Clayton and my brother, but even still, like the more the Momocon is one of those things. The more, the merrier, bro.
I kind of want to talk on that because I have really big social anxiety personally. So even meeting you guys at the con, because we didn't all meet at the same time, because I had some things to take care of in the morning. So I met them later throughout the day. Walking through the venue around so many people makes me very anxious, especially because I'm by myself. So when I had someone to go with that I was comfortable with, like Trey or Max or anyone, like, it was nice. But definitely walking there alone was very, very stressful the whole time. Because there's so many people with the costumes and everything, and people taking pictures, and a lot of people they were very friendly. Like I didn't have a single negative interaction with anybody there the entire time I was at the con, but I was definitely overwhelmed a lot of the time while I was there. But that was more of like a personal thing for me. I still had a fun time, but I definitely felt around after the 2-hour, 3-hour mark that like my social interaction timer in my body was like, yeah, I'm clocking out. I definitely only have so much more time I can be around people before my body is gonna like freak out.
It was definitely overwhelming. I'm gonna like just pull up a real quick stat that I saw. It said that the last time they had Momocon, which I think was 2019, they had 39,000 people in attendance.
Oh wow!
This year they said they broke that, and it was 42,000 people in attendance this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, I did not expect so many people.
Oh yeah, this is one of the biggest cons, like anime cons, period, bro.
I had no idea. I just really wanted to go with you guys because when I heard you guys were going, I'm impulsive. I like being around you guys, so I thought going there would be fun. Did have fun. Did not expect that many people. It really threw me off guard.
The main thing I regret is missing the Smash tournament. That's my biggest regret.
If we had known, I think I would have entered with you for the Smash tournament. That would have been fun.
You got to enter on Thursday. We didn't make it a plan until about Saturday.
They stopped requesting around the. I think they stopped requesting people for the entrance around like a good.
I'm talking about watching the tournament. I didn't really give a damn about playing it, but watching the tournament, most definitely. Dontae just stepped out again, by the way. But my personal favorite is the fact that there was more even the small amount of black nerd interaction we had at this con was more than I've had the other 2 times I went to Momocon. By far. There was the last time I went, which was probably 2018, 2017, one of those years. RDC was supposed to have a panel there, but again, the niggas didn't show. So you had all the black nerds show up to that one area just to be disappointed. But this one, we got a taste of that one that we had at the start that we had caught the tail end of.
Well, yeah, I want to talk about the panels separately.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh.
And before I go to Clayton, I forgot who it was. It was I think it was Max that went up to Dontae first, because when we met up with Dontae, his back was towards us, so he didn't see us coming. Clayton.
That was definitely me.
Hey Clayton, would you either tap him on the shoulder or put your finger behind his back?
I put my finger behind his back to make him feel like, oh my gosh, there's a weapon behind his back. But again, we're in a convention, so ain't no weapons getting in. And then he's like,
and I was like, in my head, I was like, this is the end. I made it. I die here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm more concerned that I was so ready for it that I was like, this is it. I had a good run. I had a successful life.
He's like,
I had friends.
Hey God, it's me again.
Oh,
It's your old pal.
I'm not here for I'm here to renew my lease, God, and I'm gonna be a
Renew my
permanent
lease.
resident.
Yeah, I'm ready to clock out. It's okay. I had a good run. Nothing bad happened.
With overtime included that you provided for me.
Overtime.
God
And
hold it down. Oh my gosh, but that was funny. But as far as my personal experience at Momocon, I had way more fun this time than the last time. I've gotten so many connections when it comes to my art. I got a lot of good advice. I again, as Bryan said, I won't get too much into the panels, but I did have a few weird interactions. Just as I was entering the Mario Kart tournament, and I was just sitting and drawing, and somebody just was like, "Hey, can I watch you draw?" Then I was like, "Yeah, sure." Over here, breathing down a brother neck, and Bryan was here to attest to this. I was just sitting there drawing and waiting for my turn in Mario Kart.
Yeah,
And
like I checked into Clayton like several times, and like every time I came by, I was like, that guy was just sitting there looking at Clayton draw.
like, I appreciate it. Like, he started following me on my second Instagram for my art, which I will
Hey.
have promoted within the next couple of weeks because I have to do a lot of reworking. But made a little connections, and I have to before we move on to the panels, I have to go on a mini tangent. How fucked over I got in this Mario Kart fucking competition, bro. Oh my god. Like it was a good competition. Yeah, I was up against 11 other people and all that stuff. But the items, that RNG, it was on a whole nother fucking level. How the fuck? I'm in the middle of the pack, 7th place going to 6th. I'm like, yeah, I just have to make top 6. I get hit by 4 people who had 4 stars, and I get knocked off the map by a bullet bill. Excuse me?
Yeah, that's
That game
prime
hated you.
time Mario Kart fuckery.
That game legitimately hated you.
Mhm.
Legit. And I missed out on qualifying to go to the semifinals by 4 points. 4.
Ooh, for that, that's that hurt.
Oh, I would have punched somebody in the venue.
Probably the person the bullet bill because I was already in last from the 2 stars.
Chill.
Just rub it in and hit
Exactly.
damn bullet bill, bro.
Like, yeah, but walking around, that was fun. Just watching the venue, and me, I love just window shopping until I made that one big ass purchase there at the con. I'm not regretting it yet, but when I pay my credit card bill for the next month, I'm going to regret it.
Oh my goodness, that figure was so much money. I did not expect the booths, I think is the name for it. I did not expect them to have items that were so expensive. Getting the ticket was already $50, parking was $40, and then the average price for something at the venue was $100. I was not expecting it.
Hold on, where did you park that was 40?
I parked turns out I parked exactly where you guys parked. It was just that I parked a couple minutes after y'all, so the price y'all paid for was already gone. They switched the
Oh
Price
my
gouging.
god.
depending on the time of the day, the time of the parking would switch prices.
That's
So
so fucking
it
stupid.
doubled by the time that happened.
That's
so
garbage. Because you was only like an hour behind us, really.
I was actually 40 minutes behind you guys. It was really, to be specific, it was really annoying. I got there and it was like, yeah, $40. That was the cheaper one. I believe Trey had to pay $50 or something like that.
Bro, what?
For his parking.
See,
And he
let me
didn't really go to the event like that. I mean, he did later, but like he wasn't there as long as us. We were there
Yeah,
for hours.
let me preface this parking situation by saying it was advertised, the yellow parking lot that I parked in with me, Max, and Bryan in the car. It advertised $15. I get to the booth, it says 20. Like 20.
Yeah, we said $20.
It said 20, and then they put a sticker over the 20 and said 40 when I got there.
Yikes.
Yeah, I knew which one you were talking about because when I called you guys on the phone and you said it was by the Ruby one where you passed, I'm like, I knew I'm at the right one, the yellow one. They put a sticker over it and put $40, and then they changed the price at the thing for 40 and said park at your own risk. I almost risked it. $40 is a lot of money. That could last me a week.
Park at your own risk.
It said park at your own risk. I was this close to risking it, but I knew that we were gonna have fun, so I didn't want to have to think, man, I'm gonna come back and my car got towed, and then I got no way of getting home. I did not want to think about that.
Do you really want
because
to
it's a
pay?
line as parking.
Man, I don't I loathe that thought. Like parking somewhere, coming back, and your car is gone.
Yeah, it was the thought of it was just too scary. I thought that at worst I can pay the 40 and then I get paid later. So like we're at the end of the month. So it's not like the worst thing in the world. I can afford the $40, but it's like that's 40. I could have survived a week and a half off of $40.
Bro,
That's a lot of money.
I'm telling you. But other than like that one or two weird interactions, overall good job, good
job.
time, good fun, good job, Momocon. Yes,
Ron, you did an excellent job. I was very satisfied.
yes. I mean, because in total, we were in the area and the convention for over 12 hours because we got there like 10. We left around 10, but I'm still counting the time where we got food at Giant Rockets and stuff like that. But
That's fair. There was one thing I did not like, and the thing I wasn't a fan of has 5 billion% got to be the setups they had for the casuals. Because I found out about the tournament late, so they already started, so I couldn't enter the tournament. So I wanted to go there for the offline experience. I played Dragon Ball Fighters competitively and Guilty Gear Strive a little bit. So I wanted to know what it was like to play those games offline again, because due to COVID I couldn't play that game for a while.
That's a completely different experience, playing it online and in person.
Yeah, for sure. It's a completely different game. So I had fun, but something I did not like, the setups did not have any of the DLC characters.
What?
Yeah, it was really annoying. No one there. Like, I was playing sets with a lot of people, and all we had available were basically just we really only had access to the base game characters. We didn't even get access to characters for like Blue Goku.
They didn't have Blue Goku and Blue Vegeta?
No Blue Goku,
terrible.
no Blue Vegeta, no Android 21. It was literally just as if you bought the game.
Right.
And
Day one.
Day one. No story mode done, nothing. It was the bare minimum, and everybody was complaining about it, but we still had as much fun as we possibly could. I was doing really well, which made me feel a lot better about like a tournament I'm going to later. But it was really annoying because I knew these people I was playing against, and even myself, we were all playing at like half strength because, half the roster is locked and we couldn't play them. And I know they had a tournament for them. So I'm like, what happened to the setups that had the characters on them? Like, I can't practice against people. Like these people are going to CEO, which is another tournament in Daytona that's happening next month. So I wanted to use that opportunity to get real practice against real players. And I couldn't even really do it because all the DLC was locked. It was the same story for Strive too. Guilty Gear Strive had horrible setups. Yeah, it was just base game characters. They didn't have any of the DLC. People couldn't play against Happy Chaos in particular, which was as far as I know, the number one character in the game at that moment, and like is really important to learn how to fight against because CEO is happening and he's going to be everywhere. So it's important to learn how to play against him. But no, they just had the base game, and you're going to practice against good players, but without using their real characters. So it's not really good practice. So I had a very mixed feeling on it. I'm just glad I got to play people offline because the online is so terrible. It's a completely different game, but at least I could pretend to try to get some kind of experience against some real players before I go to a real tournament again. But it's still annoying. I don't know why the setups didn't account for DLC. It just seems kind of annoying. A lot of the DLC is important.
That's kind of wild because with Fighters came out like what, 2017?
Wow, that's a long time ago. You're right. It was 2017, I think.
And
no, 2018. It came out 2018. The game's 4 years old.
Okay, but it's a lot of DLC characters. Like they've had 4 seasons of DLC characters alone.
Yeah, like half the roster in that game, like by itself, is DLC, and even going with that, the characters in that game, like the really good ones, all of them are DLC. Like I think the only good base game characters Man, that's a hard question. There's like not a lot, maybe like 2 or 3 at most that are kind of good. But like the top of the top, all of them you got to pay $5.99 for, and it's really important to get practice against them. So it's annoying that the setups didn't equate for that. And the other thing that was kind of annoying was that Smash took precedence over every other fighting game there.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Most of the setups were Smash, and they definitely got the Smash setups right.
Yeah,
All the DLC.
Smash players had all the DLC
They were
and
eating.
all the practice they could possibly get, but Tekken, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball, King of Fighters 15, they had no DLC, barely any setups, monitors were laggy. It just felt like it was really a Smash event rather than anything else. I kind of was disrespected. I had to literally look around all of the monitors to find one Dragon Ball Fighter setup and one Guilty Gear Strive setup. Everything else was Smash Brothers. And
Oh,
I know
and Tekken.
it's the biggest game, but like they can at least pretend to care about other fighting games. Like I
Right.
want to practice.
Also,
Yeah, and let's not even talk about how long it took you to find a fighter setup.
Oh my goodness, it took 2 hours to find a fighter setup. It took 2 hours. It was really bad. And then when I found it, finally, other people were looking for it too. So when they found it, we kind of had like a rotation going, which was good. But that same setup had no DLC. It was just base game characters. So it was just us complaining about how we couldn't really go against each other. I had to add them on PlayStation Network and Steam so I could practice with them later, which was annoying. Like I wish I could have practiced in actual setups that had all the DLC and stuff. I don't know. It's just really frustrating.
Jeez.
Also, another weird thing about the casual setups, they had a bunch of Xbox Series X's there, but like they weren't specifically fighting game focused. It was so weird because like so the Series X that me and Dante was at, it had Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Infinite. What was it? Ultimate
Yeah.
vs. Capcom.
Yeah, the three.
Capcom
Yeah,
3.
the Marvel vs. Capcom 3
Yeah.
Ultimate.
It had that. But on that same Xbox, it had Madden 2022 and like another single player game on it.
A lot of the PS5 and Xbox One setups, I saw people playing Ratchet and Clank.
Miles Morales, Halo,
Yeah, Miles Morales, Spider-Man.
Top tier
Minecraft was on one of the
Yeah, someone was
Xboxes.
playing Minecraft. Someone played Battlefield.
Oh yeah, someone was on Battlefield.
On the Xbox like Series S that was next to the setup that you guys were at, they had Apex downloading. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it wasn't even downloaded, bro. Yes, it was downloaded.
Yeah, they had Apex downloaded. I don't understand.
That joke was so
I
weird.
I think it's fine to have casual games like that available, but the issue was that they already did have them available. They had games like they had N64 games where like Mario Tennis set up for fun and stuff like that.
They had a whole retro section
Yeah,
off to the side.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. But like the setups where people can actually get real fighting game practice on games that's not Smash related. People were playing Halo and like other random games. It's like I want to practice against people.
And it wasn't like multiplayer. They were playing like Halo campaign.
Yeah, people
Right.
play single player games on those things. And it's like I get it's for, you can be casual and play whatever, but it's like I want to go there to an event to play something with somebody. I don't want to watch somebody play a single player game. Like I want to
Yeah.
play something with I want to practice.
The crazy part is like, oh well, the
Go ahead,
crazy,
go ahead.
okay. Well, the crazy part is, have you guys checked out the LAN section of the free to play essentially, like, because they really took priority over like all consoles and stuff like that, just so LAN can get their setup like nice and good. Because
Yeah, the LAN setup at Momocon was always like bar none.
oh yeah, that was fucking top tier. Like I don't know how they got like 30 ping the last time I was at Momocon.
Oh, I remember seeing some of them were wired up. That was good. I think that's great. I just think that MomoCon, it felt like the Smash tournament than anything else.
Yes.
There was so much Smash Brothers, Nintendo stuff related things that it felt like everything that wasn't Smash Brothers related was a side event.
I mean, well, though it does have like a huge fault, Momocon, with the console setup and like just for casuals to play and stuff like that. You also got to think that it's an entire convention. Not excusing them like for the shitty setup that they have for the console players, but there's more to do rather than play videos. Like we went to the car show. We saw some really cool, amazing cars, like awesome cosplays.
The vendors
like
were really nice.
Oh yeah, the vendors. Oh my god, I never thought I would find one of my fandoms figurines, which is Code Geass. I love Code Geass to death, and Lelouch V Britannia or Lamperouge, however you want to address him.
So funny, we had to go like to 20 booths to find one thing related to that anime.
Yeah, because like first of all, a mini rant. Code Geass, in my opinion, is one of the greatest animes ever created. You can at me, but it was hard finding merch because it was out of print and stuff like that. And then after I bought it and I came home, since like I don't live in Atlanta, so I have to drive back home. I actually got the better price at the convention for this figurine because the bottom tier price.
Serious?
Yes,
that
the bottom tier
$300
price.
fucking figurine was the cheapest.
Yes,
It was
yes.
$345 to
After tax, it was $368.42. Thank you very much. But but I got that at the absolute bottom tier price. I checked online. I was seeing 500. I was seeing 700 because again, this series from GEM Studio, the company that produces like this set of figurines, they make high quality shit. And this is extremely high quality. Again, I'm not taking it out until I move out. And I didn't mind paying that because it was something I was eyeing for years. But as far as vendors, they had like some really good vendors for like people who are on a budget or people who really wanted to like put money out there. Because one of my other fandoms, which is Idolmaster, I found a couple CDs for $5, and CDs, thank God, are not region locked and stuff like that. And there was also a PS4 bundle set for this game that I damn near played on my phone all the time when I was in high school, with limited edition lanyards and like art book and all that stuff, all for $72. Check the price when I got home, $150 to ship it to America.
Jesus.
I know.
Oh my god.
So like I appreciate conventions having enough vendors with enough outsourcing to gather those materials so they can sell them at a fairer price, because I've like conventions, that's where I mainly buy all my figurines. I'm not gonna lie, almost the only time I buy figurines, because one figurine, I know I talk about figurines a lot, but that's like part of my hobby. I got a Eren Yeager figurine from Mega House, like, and this is a really well-known brand. I got that for $60 at SuperCon down in Florida, like South Florida, like quite a few years back. I check online, that bitch is $260.
Jesus.
So yeah, convention.
A action figure that I can't do shit with.
It's there to look pretty.
Bro, you can collect some more funds by saving the money by not buying it. Is what you can collect.
Shut your ass up. You already know. You already know. Like, and if you don't know that Code Geass is my franchise, like I will ride. I'll go hard and pay for my franchise.
Some other franchise, you have to let us know, bro. The community.
I never knew collecting it was so serious until we walked together through the aisles to see the prices on the figurines. Like the average price was $120 on like everything. I didn't know it was so serious.
Is that kind of like the same thing with like how Gundam builds, like those models, or how those are valued? Because I heard that Gundam's pretty popular with that too.
Oh yeah, I saw a lot of Gundam builds there, but they were fairly priced. Like the cheapest one I saw was like $75. But again, Gundam figures, like Gundam figure builds, they are rather large, so you're gonna get your money's worth if you really like a series, franchise, whatever the hell you go for. But yeah, I just appreciate conventions like Momocon being as big as they are, as I said before, like so they can outsource and bring things here to America that we can purchase. Now, some vendors they will try to get you. That's why I look around for like, hey, I like this figurine. I do my research on which brands are the best, have the best quality, because it was a whole lot of trial and error on my end. Back when I started collecting, and they had a pretty good, like decently priced, except for like this one vendor. I don't know the name of it. I forgot where it was located on the floor. They tried to sell like a $35 Bakugo figurine that I currently have and they're currently looking at that I got from Box Lunch for $50. So it was like,
Oh my god,
what?
Yes. $50? Oh my lord.
I know.
I didn't know that the prices were so serious. Because I know people love this stuff a lot. Like, I think one of the recent things I learned at my school were that the kids really are into Pokemon, and I didn't know how serious Pokemon card collecting was. Because I saw a couple of the packs there at the Momocon being sold for one pack was $200. But you got a
Okay,
confirmed,
come on now.
apparently like a super rare.
Man,
Um,
that's price gouging out the ass.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. I didn't know it was so crazy. But it's real. People take these really seriously.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I had no idea. I did not know. Like, I remember a couple of the kids at my school were saying that they wanted to trade Pokemon cards with me, but I didn't have that many. So I was going to pick up, I told myself I'll pick up a pack on the way to work. Didn't know that I'd have to go to literally 30 stores and still no cards because they're all sold out from people buying all of the boxes, probably thousands of dollars worth of cards. And I didn't know the game was that serious. I thought it was just kids lightheartedly collecting some cards.
I remember going to the store and seeing Pokemon cards, so I didn't think, wow. I didn't think cards were still that big in this era.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
Yeah.
some of the hype beasts, like the Paul brothers, kind of just destroy the market because when it started getting like in the popular, lexicon of streamers doing pack opens and stuff like that, the prices for the cards went through the roof.
And I know Critical was a big person to do that too.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Yeah, he started buying packs by the hundreds.
like it was at the start of the panini that all this the price gouging and all this going for Pokemon cards started, because like quick question, is anybody here familiar with the Try Guys or something of the sort? Yeah, so that it's been outplayed. I'm sorry, Try Guys, if you ever listen to this. I highly doubt that. I listened to one of your podcasts with some form of enjoyment, but that's besides the point. They made a video. Keith, one of the Try Guys, made a video of Pokemon packs being open, like opening Pokemon packs, looking for certain cards and stuff like that. So it was just feeding into the circulation of content, especially on TikTok, where you have random lives of people opening Pokemon packs and all that stuff. And packs that are being sent to them because they have a big platform. So obviously fans are going to try to find Pokemon card packs so they can send it to their favorite streamer or favorite YouTuber or internet creators so they can get more content that they enjoy. And it all became cyclical at that point. It's getting a little bit easier to find Pokemon packs, but if you live in a more popular city like Atlanta or any state capital or something like that, it's going to be scarce. Real scarce.
Yeah, for real. At the start of the Panera Bread, a lot of this.
Oh my god!
See, I refuse to refer to it by its name, but a lot of it got crazier and crazier as time went on about the prices. Like, I remember one of the Paul brothers, I think, sold one for $500,000 or something.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's what the price was. It was like around $500,000 was, I think, the price for one of them, which is ludicrous. But I think the fact that people were willing, because it was a bid, so people were willing to bid for that much money. Who has $500,000 just sitting for a Pokemon card?
People who have too much money and not enough sense.
I'm saying,
Double entendre.
who got $500,000 just sitting in a bank account collecting dust for fun? I mean, that's my kid's college fund right there. Buying a card?
That's more than a kid. That's more than a college.
That's multiple generations of children's college funds.
That's my house.
I think the most recent one was
Very.
sold in March for nearly $1 million. It was $900,000 that was sold for one. It was a limited edition 1997 trainer card or something like that. I forget the exact card, but one Pokemon card was sold for that much money. And I think the packs at Momocon, probably years from now, will hopefully, assuming that there's no disaster that happens that would make the price gouging go even crazier. I feel like the prices for cards like that as time goes on will just continue to rise. So I don't know how people get a hold of things like this. You know, I feel like the market for cards is crazy. You got to spend a lot of money to get some of this stuff. The collectors have too much money, in my opinion. I think it's a little.
Meanwhile, the competitive players are like, I can't get this fucking one card. That's because a collector has it. They don't even play the game.
He just wants it just to have in his living room, the $1 million card that he could sell at any point.
Winning strategy, and you will never be able to play it.
But then again, would you play with a card that costs you $1 million?
Oh God,
Even,
no.
no matter how well you protect it, like I don't feel comfortable taking it out from a safe spot at all.
I wouldn't put it in a card sleeve and play it. I'd have it at like a frame in a safe underneath the earth is where I'd have it for that much money. It's worth too much, I think, in my personal opinion.
Underneath Momocon.
Yeah, it's got to be buried underneath the convention. There's no way. It's too rare. I don't think I'd ever be comfortable using a rare card in anything. I recently started playing Magic, and they give you some cards sometimes that are like kind of good, like they're like transparent or hollow or whatever, and I appreciate that. Like I have apparently a card that's worth like $15, which I think is cool. I got lucky in my deck, but I want to hang on to it for like the dreaded day that like we lose access to those cards, and then all of a sudden it's worth like $900,000, and I would totally sell it. I think I want to hang on to that. I was thinking about trading it to a friend though for like, because he plays the game more than I do. I don't really care about the game like that. But I didn't know the card market was so
Dog,
skewed like that.
just imagine like putting down a payment on a down payment of a new house with your Pokemon card. Like
Right?
just being at the real estate agent, like, look, you don't understand. This card is worth $50,000.
Like, sir, you can't do that.
Home ownership, I choose you.
Right. How is a piece of plastic worth a house? More than a house. It's worth a mansion in Georgia.
How much it is supply and demand. As long as that card's hot.
You can buy a school for that much money. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
I could buy a person for that much money, probably.
Yikes.
What the
All right,
really-
so let's
really
talk about
okay.
these sessions.
How we go from a convention?
Let's get to the
Wait, I actually want to talk about the
Does
session.
not condone human trafficking.
I want to talk about the black panels we had, and how the most consistent thing about them was how they put all of them in the back of the convention with no lighting, away from everything else. I don't know how to feel about that.
Dog. So the first one we went to was I'm trying to I still have my schedule. It was what did I see this? Being Black and into animation. And this,
Yes, that was this.
and this was in panel 202, which was literally the furthest back you could get on that second floor.
We were walking there and we kept asking, is this still part of the convention? Because ain't nobody, usually at the cons, you got people sitting at the sides of the walls, you got people hanging around certain spots. But this was in the cut in the back where you can start to feel the AC. It started to get cold because there's nobody over there. The lighting's not the same, and you just keep walking. It's like, are we going to the right spot?
Right.
Then you get over there, and yes, you are indeed going to the right spot.
I mean, but even though it was in the cut, let's appreciate with that first good panel that we went to that caught the tail end of how many black people were there, it felt like home. I'm not saying I'm
Yes.
uncomfortable around white people or any other races. It just felt so good to be in a space and talk openly about the trials, tribulations, the struggles of being a black creator, and how as a black creator to market yourself and what you can do so you could get your product or your voice or whatever you're putting out on the internet out there. So that was like really heartwarming. I'm pretty sure nobody was looking at my face, but as soon as we stepped in there, my eyes widened up. Like I was having a whole Sailor Moon fucking dreamy aspect of just watching the sea of black excellence, or like curious minded black people in one room, and like more than one person is interested in the same things that I am in drawing, animation, and marketing myself and my art to become profitable and just get my artwork out there. And it felt so surreal, like honestly. Like you could even ask Bryan, Max, and Dontae. While we were there, I was working on a commission that I got hired to like do and all that stuff, and I just finished it the other day, thank God.
And like, it's a different feeling when you're around your people and people that get you and understand. Like, that is a completely different feeling from being cool, being cordial. Obviously is a con where everybody's into nerd culture, comics and stuff like that. But when you're around your people that's into that, that's a completely different vibe than the other sessions.
I think I got into more shows from hearing how people were passionate about talking about them at the con, like rather at the specific panel, excuse me, because we got into a discussion eventually about talking about certain like animated shows and how they feature African Americans prominently in the shows and how they're represented. A lot of times the African American is just left to just being either like a side character or death in like every show or movie like ever. And it's like not many shows like really do feature a predominant African American like protagonist. And something Max and I were talking about that we didn't even think about at the time, Max brought it up, was how many video games really star an African American, like really do have like an African American like presence in gaming. And the only one we could think about was Deathloop, and that's it. Like we couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, that's what I had asked. He just said Deathloop, and then I think it was Bryan. He said 2K.
Yeah, I was being an ass.
Yeah, but that's serious. You go to most games, you have no black customization. You got to be a white person with dark skin, and then they have the excellent choices of bald or shitty afro.
Sometimes we get the fade, but the fade ain't done right.
Fade's not done right. Or short dreads.
Cornrows, bro.
Cornrows.
You might get some shitty cornrows.
Yeah, we got either the low cut, the fade, the cornrows, or afro. Those are the only styles African Americans have.
And like
it's the academy, apparently.
I will legitimately say this about 2K, even though it's kind of cheating because it's based off of real life people. But the hairstyles in 2K, because they're based off of real life people and real life African American basketball players, they just import those hairstyles into the custom creator. So like 2K has a very robust like black hairstyle library for you to select and use. But it's like a lot of other companies can just use the template that 2K has and put that in their character creations, but they choose not to, and we're stuck with cornrows and dirty afros.
And bruh, on the topic of zero black representation in media, wouldn't you love it so much if when it comes to fantasy, most of the time when you get fantasy, you get Englishmen, right? It's always based off like Englishmen. Or it's like fantasy where the hairstyles, you can tell they're not black because the hair's straight, but the hairstyles are just like big and out there. Like they're not hairstyles you would see people rock in real life. but it's fantasy, but it's always based on straight hair. Imagine that same theme, like fantasy, like big wild hair, just with black hair.
I've been
With curly hair.
Dog.
Like imagine how crazy these hairstyles could get, like fantasy black hairstyles.
I'm about to say,
that's-
Max, you're on a gold mine, a $1 million franchise right there. Just the medieval times, but with black people and black culture.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like, I think the thing is that some creators just like, I think that the prominent ones being Japanese developers just aren't aware of it. Mainly because a lot of black people don't live in Japan. Like, I think one of the franchises that does it the worst is Monster Hunter, where like there's no black customization at all. It's literally just either bald or afro. Those are your choices.
yes.
Literally
And-
what I had to pick when
Yeah.
I just made my fucking character.
Yeah,
like,
But DLC has fixed that. Like, they're kind of aware. Like, there's DLC hairstyles which have more prominent African American styles. Like, a lot of it. So like they're becoming more
got, like,
aware.
or you get a little
exist.
Now, I actually want to hop back to what Bryan was talking about of how 2K had like great African American, or I'm just going to say black representation with hairstyles and stuff like that. But the question is, if the NBA players were not predominantly black, how good of a customized character or whatever you do in 2K, how good would those customizations be without those black people in real life being depicted in the video game? How it'll be trash. Like, let's be quite honest. Or not, either trash or non-existent. And I think as far as what Max was talking about, I believe was no what Dontae was talking about with the lack of black people in Japan, so they really don't have a reference. There is an entire World Wide Web out there with what black people look like. So there is literally no excuse as to why those customizations are not available in the game to have a more inclusive gaming experience. They're just not worried about it. And even going back to early animation, let's say Dragon Ball. How were black people depicted in Dragon Ball?
God.
That's why I always think about that. Dragon Ball Z, that shit is. But think about the era in which it was made, bruh. It was highly racist.
Wait, I actually have something to piggyback on this. Something that, so I don't want to go too into these specifics about this, but like the TLDR is that fighting games have really bad netcode, and there was a way better way to do netcode that was invented in the States, called rollback netcode, which makes it way better, but Japan never used it. And Japan makes a lot of the fighting games, so they just choose to make them with the really bad netcode. And I've heard talks that developers say that they've just never heard of it before.
I don't believe that.
I
That's true. Don't believe that at all.
Like, if somebody found the answer to something that you've been struggling to find for the longest of time, there's no way that the answer comes out and you don't hear about it. Like, I want to bring it back to the discussion before, because it's like, if this exists, you will hear about it.
Yeah,
we live in a generation with
this is
that.
the 21st century. It's 2022, baby. Things move fast.
Exactly.
It comes out. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, it's spread everywhere. There's no way that like somebody will say something somewhere in the world and you don't hear about it if they're like prominent in your community or something, you know, especially in your community. Like, if no matter what it is, if you care about your community and you want it to grow, you'll hear about everything that goes on in there. I refuse to believe that Japanese developers didn't know what good netcode was before COVID happened. So when they say things like it didn't exist or they didn't know about it, I think that's bullshit, personally. So I think it's bullshit that in 2022, they don't think that black people have different hairstyles besides 3 things. Like, I think that's stupid. I think they were very well aware that we have more than 3 hairstyles for black people. I think they choose not to do it.
And I want to, well, go ahead, Clayton, and I want to pivot to something else after that.
Okay, now the question is, we've talked mad shit about lack of representation and proper representation with diversity within our community. Now, now this is a question for everybody. Who is your favorite Black creator on social media and why?
Corey
Oh.
Kenshin, because he's funny and nice.
By far RDC World.
Oh, RDC World was funny.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with Nuri Duri. He's the well, I don't think I've ever seen it, but I personally bought 7 of his prints, and basically he's an artist on Instagram and Facebook, and he had this whole collection where he redrew all the Sonic characters in his kind of style, and all of them were like fly as fuck because like they all had Jordans and Yeezys
Is
and
that those posters you have hanging around?
yeah,
Yeah, that's dope.
them and what is this girl name? GDB, Geneva Bowens, on Instagram as well. I actually bought her art book. Fantastic Black artist. Very, very beautiful artwork. Really beautiful colors, use of different colors. She always, features Black people in her actual art that she makes. It'll be those two, GD Bowens or GDB. That's her Instagram name, and then Nuri Dur on Instagram.
DeYante?
It was gonna be like a very easy cop out, Caleb City.
Oh yes.
Caleb's too funny. It's
No,
He has
ridiculous.
a unique, bro. His humor is so
No.
unique.
Now, as far as me, I would go with White Manga on YouTube. He created his own manga called Apple Black. He currently has 2 volumes out, which I still need to purchase. But when I tell you this man has Black representation in his own manga, obviously create a Black man create a manga with Black characters. He did everything on his own, and just watching him progress, like getting deeper and deeper into his own manga style, is just very enticing. And I've been there for the journey for about 2 years to subscribe to him. He's amazing. Like, it is spelled WHYT manga if you guys want to check him out.
I get that reference. Well, that's a good segue to what I wanted to talk about. So one of the panels I went to later on in the night was, let me get the actual name. Dang, I should have already had this up. But basically it was about self producing your own comic books and your own, media, and kind of like breaking into the comic book industry. I believe this took place at like 8:30. Self-publishing behind the scenes. And there was a panel of independent artists and comic book creators. And one of those creators was Marcus Williams. And Marcus Williams, if you look on Instagram, his Instagram is Marcus the Visual, Black artist. But I followed one of the comics that he makes called Tuskegee Hairs. Now I haven't read the comic, but I just saw like promotional of it on Facebook, and I was like, hey, that's something, that I would like to get into. So I just followed it. But then I saw on Facebook, it was like, hey, we're at Momocon, come see us, stop by the booth. And I was like, this is a perfect time to actually go out there, see this person live, and for me, support a Black business. And so me and Max went to the booth and we met him, and his artwork is so dope. He has one of his like little series where he takes the Boondocks characters and ages them up. And this is like, how Huey and Riley would be like 10 years older into the future. And like, I love his artwork from that standpoint, but also that he is a Black creator who's self-published. And so him and his business partner, Greg Burnham, again, both African-American Black artists in their own sense. Burnham handles all of the dialogue, the script, and Marcus Williams handles the actual visual aspects of it. And I actually went to the booth. Both me and Max purchased the volume 1 of Tuskegee Hairs, and I actually read it today, and it's really cool. I just read through the first part of it, the first issue of it, because it's essentially a bunch of the issues put together, and it's essentially about, it takes place many years into the future, and is the characters, they're kind of like practicing on the same type of like ships that the Tuskegee airmen would have, flown in World War II. And like there's a whole plot about it, about how aircraft has been like, banned, and how you can't use real ammunition and stuff like that. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It goes from a kind of like sci-fi aspect, but just looking at the album, the cover of it, it is gorgeous. You have nothing but black characters on there with black hairstyles, and even the characters' names. Again, it's like when we're talking about representation, they're characters that have black names, like Ayana and Omar and Genesis. If we're talking about representation, I think it's super, super important to support those who look like us, sound like us, draw us like us, and make sure that we're supporting these artists. And so at the actual panel that he was a part of, that Marcus Williams was a part of, dude is super cool. He is a wealth of knowledge, and his kind of like story on how he self-published his own book, and how they worked on Tuskegee Hairs, their creative process behind that, and them breaking into the comic book industry as an independent artist and it as an independent entity. And that stuff was super, super cool for me, especially as a young black I don't even want to say creative, but just a young black lover of media and comics and anime, and seeing us represented in those fashion and in those media.
Just snaps fingers and jazz in black.
If excuse me,
God.
Sorry. It seems like a lot of the times the only way that you can kind of get that kind of information is at these cons, especially for people like us, because it's no telling where you're going to find an audience or that particular topic anywhere else.
Trust me,
it's kind of sad that it's a rare thing that's not exactly explained in greater detail, unless there's like a video of that person giving it. But other than that, it's a beautiful thing to bring everybody together, which is the purpose of the con to begin with.
Right. And trust me, like even this, I can't say it was like a plethora of just black representation at Momocon, because that's not what it is. But
people were there.
Still, this Momocon, even though I only went for one day, still had more black representation than the other 2 times in which I went. Another black comic that I follow is Black Sands. You've likely heard of them before, because they're doing big things now. Like they were recently on Shark Tank. Not only that, but they created their full web app service, Webtoons app service, in which they host a lot of other like original black artists on there. So we have our own, we as black people, we have our own like Webtoons app now. That's what Black Sands is. Not to mention he consistently, like on social media, gives tips on how independent artists can get started. And he's also working at his biggest project right now is the Black Sands animation, which he continuously teases like the models that he's using for it, some of the voice acting, and it looks good. I have really high hopes for it, and I really hope that it does well. I'm surprised we weren't here at Momocon, but hey.
They actually, I think he was at a different con. I think it was either
I
him
hope-
or it was another black comic book creator that I follow on social media. One of them posts, I saw that they were like at a different con promoting their products.
Okay.
That's
What I
cool.
really hope is I would love for them to go to like DreamCon, because DreamCon is something I want to go to. That looks like it's made by black folks for black folks.
So I spoke on my sessions I went to. What are some other sessions that were standouts for you all?
It was one. Who was with me on this one? I think it was Clayton. Clayton was with me on this one.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
It was this anime like. I believe it was called "Is This Anime Good for You?" And
Yes.
basically, they would it was two black panelists who actually host their own podcast. They were the people that you met, Bryan, after we had got out.
Yeah, the Afro Tacos.
Afro Taku, yes. And they were hosting a session. Is this anime good? Or is this anime trash? It was basically where they set up a debate against the audience would debate against each other whether this anime was good or whether this anime was trash. It was really fun because you'd have some people that it was really fun to see people try to dig out a bullshit opinion for an anime that's clearly not trash, like My Hero or Attack on Titan. There was
Right.
also which one of them actually had a really good. There was one with actual good debate where I forgot which one it was. They said a lot of mainstream stuff, basically.
Was it like One Piece or was it? I'm trying to recollect my memories from the panel, because man, I had so much fun at that one. And that one dude that tried me to said that Code Geass was trash.
Oh yeah, I should have seen Clayton. He came with facts.
I came with fucking facts.
Facts, no fiction. Like anyone that Clayton was about to argue against was going to lose, was destined to lose.
Exactly. I've watched Code Geass over 20 times since I was in high school. Just R1 and R2, not all the other expansions to the universe. But yes, you will not lose any argument against me with Code Geass.
Shit trash, bro.
See, I'm a come over there, give you a fade that you're not gonna like.
Hey, too bad for you. I already got one. Went give me a haircut today. Bitch.
Shut up. Shut up.
End is near.
Like it came out in 2006, so I had a lot of time to study.
We
Did it really?
yeah, that junk kind of old.
I'm sorry.
Me and Max. Well, Max invited me over to this session. Name that tune, gaming edition.
Yes, that one was fun. That one was really fun.
And basically, they would just pull up like they'll say what genre it is and what year it came out, and then they'll play the songs. And then level 1 was super easy stuff, like the overworld theme from New Super Mario Brothers. Or what was it? It was a song from Deltarune. But then they got to the overkill section.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And like it was like legit songs that nobody should know.
That was some obscure ass shit.
Like the Garfield kart game that was only on iOS and Android in like 2011.
What?
Bro, yes.
Or
And they picked one. It was this and the thing is this one was funkin' too. And people were giving good guesses too. I forgot a couple of things what people said.
bro, I
But
thought it
when
was
they-
from Freedom Planet and I was wrong.
Freedom, bruh. And then they said, Yo Noid.
2.
I was
Yonoid
like-
2. Don't forget the 2.
I'm sorry, Yo Noid 2, because there's 2 of these games. And I was just like, who the fuck has played this game before? Who has actively played this game before? But apparently it's a thing.
And it was
Shit.
it was kind of funny because it was like some things they'll pull up like It was like the Beetle racing game on Nintendo 64, and like it would be like that one person in that whole thing would know it. And then people would be like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Oh, the game's actually good." And then like it'll get a discussion like, "Well, is the game good? Should I should I go pick it up? Should I go play it?" It was weird discussions like that popped up from that panel. But ain't nobody playing. You'll know it too. I'm just telling you that right now.
That shit had me bust out laughing, bro.
Oh, but the other good panel slash that we got the tail end of the Soul Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was great. It was Super Souls Brothers.
Super Soul Brothers.
Yeah, Super Souls Brothers. We came in because we was coming in there after we had 8 at Johnny Rockets. And also, good God, let me just go on a quick rant about food. So at the convention, they had food available, but there was two main vendors. Papa John's, which you could buy an $11 personal pan pizza, or Nathan's hot dog, which you get a $7 hot dog.
I swear that better be the best hot dog I ever eaten. If you have the audacity to tell me that it's boiled, I'm gonna throw that shit back in your face.
That glizzy's not gonna get globbled tonight.
Jesus Christ, Clayton. And there was like some other like vendors that was selling their food, and I got a brand about this. There was it was like a kind of like an old fashioned looking soda like shop thing, and I was like, it was like a few minutes before something else. I was like, you know what, I can use me a soda, and I expected to pay a lot because it's a con. Everybody's price is going to be a little bit higher. I'm thinking, okay, we getting like a custom mug. I get to keep the mug. It's probably going to be like $15 at the most. They didn't put the price on here. I get up to the line. I was like, all right, so how much for it? The guy points up to the silver one. He's like, that one's $35. The gold one's $40.
Huh?
It was $35 to buy that mug. And the idea was that it was free refills the whole day. But mind you, by the time I'm coming to this is like 3:00. So the day is, half the day is already gone. I was not about to sit there and pay $35 for a mug just for, and I didn't even want the soda after. I just wanted just a mug of soda, and that was going to be it. They wanted $35, the lowest price for that.
Because it had brandy on it. That's what makes it significant.
Wait, did you also say that was free refills, or
It's free refills for the day, so I could kind of justify it if you get there like right at the convention opens at 10 a.m. You get it, and you constantly go back throughout the day. I could kind of see that, but I'm not paying $35 for a mug, dog. I'm not. I'm sorry.
But nobody needs that much aspartame at all. Like, god damn.
So, but the other rant about food is, we went to Johnny Rockets, which was like what, a 15-minute walk from the convention center, if that.
Less than.
Dog, that junk was packed, and we waited outside for like 40 minutes.
Damn.
And like,
Thank God our heads up.
yeah, thank God we had heads up. Well, Clayton had heads up on his phone. We was able to entertain ourselves. But like, that junk was packed, and I would imagine that everywhere in that area was just packed, just full of people going to restaurants. So whoever was the restaurant owners this weekend, boy, they were eating in terms of profits.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, I'm in this whole tangent about food. I forgot what I was about to talk about.
Surprise, fucking prize. Come on.
It was something about a panel. Oh, Super Soul Brothers. Yeah. So, we caught the tail end of Super Soul Brothers. And we came in when Mega Ram, I think that's his name. He's a black rapper. I've seen his stuff on Bandcamp before, but he's a black rapper. that heavily does like video game based raps and music. He had a verse, and like three other people had a verse because they was performing with the Super Soul Brothers. Then they went off, and then it was just Super Soul Brothers. And if you haven't heard of Super Soul Brothers before, is a pianist, drummer, saxophonist, and guitarist. And boy, that jump was fantastic. Even though we only caught like realistically like what 3 songs at the tail end, each one of them was fire, and it was
Yes.
authentic music. You can tell like they understand chord structures. You can tell they have a jazz background, especially that piano player boy, because he was throwing in. He had like this whole like 3-minute solo with just like taking Mario themes and then putting jazz spins on it.
Like that shit was crazy. He was a cool cat.
And the way they had the actual room set up, they dimmed all the lights, but they had like special lighting going on throughout. They were fantastic. You can check out their music on Bandcamp, and anytime you like purchase music off of Bandcamp, that the majority of that proceeds go to the artists themselves.
So it's actually like me buying directly from them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mhm.
And for me personally, just because I'm a audio nerd, I like going through Bandcamp because you can get the high quality FLAC and high res files, audio files, if you do it from Bandcamp.
Thanks for that. But I've heard of them like once or twice. I know I have one of their albums on Spotify, and have a bunch of different like covers on their albums of them doing different things.
Oh man, yo, I'm looking at the schedule for Sunday. Right at the very early morning on Sunday, they had 2 panels back to back: classic black anime characters and black nerds and Greeks in the geek space.
That would have been quite information,
Yeah, but
especially that second one.
I didn't have another. I didn't have another $35 to throw out there. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Wasn't trying to. Well, I did. I just wasn't trying to spend it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I think we kind of know for like future, because it's the panel, the amount of panels is ridiculous. Like there was several times where we were trying to decide what panel to go to, and it was like 5 panels that sounded really good,
Mm-hmm.
and we
You
just
just.
yeah,
There was a point in where we split. We was like, okay, I'm gonna go to this one. You're gonna go to this one. If this one sucks, I'm gonna come to you.
right, basically.
Boy, that worked because that Black Renaissance one we went to, boy.
Oof, that was rough.
But
That was rough, and I'm just gonna stop right there. It was rough.
Who was all in there? It was me and you, Bryan. And who else was in there?
Dontae was
I
in there.
wasn't there.
Dontae was there
Huh?
because Clayton, you was doing your Smash Brothers at the time.
No, not Smash.
I mean Mario Kart. You was doing Mario.
Mario Kart, put some respect on my beating ass.
I mean, you still lost. Like,
By 4 fucking points.
I got to that panel early because I wanted to get seats right front and center.
bro, I felt kind of bad because we were like at the very top, like at the very top of the panel.
There's no sneaking out. We got up and waltzed out, bruh.
You would have been the first people to get seen leaving immediately.
Yeah, I felt bad about it, but at the same time, like that
didn't.
panel just
Yeah.
wasn't it.
I
It
did not feel bad leaving that shit. It was bad. So I was like, I told Bryan, I want to leave. He's like, yeah. I turned to Dontae. I was like, I want to leave. He's like, okay. So
yeah, Dontae's like, okay.
Oh Lord.
we
Wait,
got
what
up
was it
and left
about?
out that bitch.
What was it about?
It was
That's the problem.
it was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be a discussion on like different Black traumas and just Black culture in the media space in general. It was very very vague. It was very vague. But I'm Brian. Go ahead and explain what actually happened.
So it's
Okay.
very vague and out of place for the convention.
So no, I mean, like, to be fair, like, they had a lot of, like, they had a lot of things centered around, black people and black people in media and things like that. And I'm gonna read the actual description from the app. So for the Black Renaissance panel, join the active conversation and learn how the black community has heavily influenced yesterday's and today's entertainment world whilst learning how to become a better ally. So, sounds cool, sounds dope. But the panelists, instead of doing it like an actual presentation, she did it more as a discussion. My issue with it was that it felt extremely just unprepared.
Yes.
Because she started the panel with like asking us as the audience, what is this something that you want to just rant about, or what is something that just burning your mind? And then it was kind of awkward because nobody had anything to say. Like,
When she asked that, it was just crickets, bro.
and it was like it's different when you present a problem, you present an issue, and then you naturally work with the crowd through that point, or you build upon that moment. But it didn't, that natural aspect wasn't there. And she did have somebody come up and started speaking, but after that point it was just kind of like, it was about 10 minutes in, and then we kind of we was just like, we're not getting out of this what we wanted to get out of it.
Not at all.
And so that's when we slid.
So it's like
And
made the quickest and most accessible option available for y'all.
and me and Max split. We went to go see. We went to do who would win,
Yeah, bro.
and that was the perfect amount of garbage.
Bro. Who would win was really fun.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was so stupid. It was essentially the stupid internet arguments you had as a kid, or just the arguments you have as a kid. Like, who would win in a battle to the death, this person or this person? Max, you had a good example. You had Deku versus Kid Goku.
Yes. And that got into discussion, like you get people's minds running. But it was also stupid because one of the biggest arguments was fucking Stuart Little versus Remy from Ratatouille.
What?
That joke was so funny.
That one kept coming up. Like people kept coming to the mic to get more points on that, bro. Stuart Little versus Remy was the biggest who would win, bro.
Remy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, people kept on, and what made the panel funny was like people would have like, legitimately good points. It was like, oh well, rats eat mice, so blah blah blah. It's like, well, no, Stuart Little's smarter because of this, or like it was the justification that people had for the dumbest arguments.
Oh God.
People were trying to just make it so that way their character would just win.
Mhm. Like obviously there's some bias there,
Right.
but
And what's crazy? Hold on, Clayton. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What made this panel really entertaining was the panelist, and that's just that's a testament to how, like, if you have entertaining panelists, they can make any subject worth talking about. Because it was stupid, but it was fun. It was
Right. Like at one point we had a whole discussion on Pop-Tarts versus toaster strudels, pancakes versus waffles.
Yeah, that's what we came in on: pancakes versus waffles.
Waffles are superior.
Oh no, they're not.
The argument: pancakes are waffles are pancakes with abs.
But anyway, I think the one panel that I really enjoyed, like not above the one panel that we enjoyed together was the Teen Titans panel with Greg Sipes, the voice of Beast Boy, and Carrie Payton, the voice of Cyborg. It felt nostalgic just hearing their voices again, man.
Yes.
And that was crazy. So like for the Teen Titans one, that's just their voices. Like they're That's just their normal voices.
Beast Boy, especially Greg, bruh. That's clearly Beast Boy. And
Dog, he looked zooted through that whole thing,
Yo.
boy.
Yeah,
But he had the
right,
cheese.
he had his dog in his hands the whole time. He had sunglasses on. He had his dumb grin on his face the entire time, bro. That man was gone.
Bro, but the one thing that I noticed that you guys didn't notice was he was pouring into a bowl from his like glass water bottle that was provided to him, and his dog was licking the water, well, drinking the water from the stream that he was pouring into the bowl for him.
Probably too high to realize.
Man was gone, bro. Whatever he had, hooked me up.
I was saying, man was happy, but their bond, like as actors, bro, that shit, it's pretty dope. They had nothing but good things to say about each other, and it reminds you of the relationship Beast Boy and Cyborg had in the actual show.
Right.
Life imitates art. It's been like what, almost 20 years since Teen Titan came out.
Over
Yeah,
over that thing. Well, no, I think it was 03. So we're almost.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe they'll
Yeah, I
do a
think
new
it was 03.
as an anniversary.
You said what?
Maybe they'll do another reboot as an anniversary.
We don't need another
We don't need. Listen, Teen Titans Go is unhinged.
Reading, there'll be blood and violence.
God.
Yeah, I want Tara to die. Like, I want to see her physically.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She was a witch with a bee, and nobody can disagree with that. She toyed with Beast Boy's hot, and she was working with Slate. Like, come on, man, come on.
I need to see
Now,
kill.
the crazy thing is like if you actually get into the comics, her backstory is even worse. Because God, this is just. I hope I'm not saying the wrong information, but if I remember correctly, in the comics, when she was like first introduced, either when she was first introduced or one of her storylines, she was like actually being like sexually abused or sexually groomed by Slade. So like,
No.
so yeah, so like he had her like in his control in various different ways, very uncomfortable ways, which has made Slade an even more terrible of a fucking person.
Mm-hmm. Well, can you even really call him a person at that point?
Right.
Any other panel talk? Because I think we covered all the ones we went to.
I believe so. Like, I guess final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Okay.
Yeah,
We need to do it again next year.
But did we talk about when we went to the? We already talked about when we went to the exhibit and went to the games, right?
Here,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
that was a big
Yeah.
discussion.
And you always got to experience your gamer funk too, boy.
Oh my
I
God.
remember we was walking to the back to where the Mario Kart line was, and somebody, like, it's the difference between like no deodorant or maybe say your deodorant starts failing because it's hot.
Starts failing.
That smelled like I haven't taken a bath in some months. Like the way that I had a mask on too, mind you, and my mask grips my face. So that whatever smell that was breached my mask
Breached.
with no effort, bruh. And God, it was so sour, but it made me wince.
Like, bro, that's why I carry, like, just because I am a hygiene freak, I carried around the spray on deodorant if I needed a touch up, or if any of you guys felt like you
I
needed
should have
one.
brought some Febreze and just sprayed that bitch. Let it ring. Let it ring. Let freedom ring. But
Oh, okay. I do also have to talk about this because we all experience this. I get it. It's an anime gaming convention. It's a place full of a bunch of nerds. But people were just awkward, dog.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
People were just awkward. There was one point where we was
I
walking.
promise you, the stuff you've seen was tame compared to the stuff I seen last time I went, man. Jesus.
That's wild. Like there was a time where we was just walking the convention floor and I don't know what dude was cosplaying as, but he just came up and spun a fake gun and pointed it at Max and just stood there.
Oh, that shit was weird. I didn't know what to say or what to do. I was put in this very awkward situation, not of my own volition, bruh.
Just say, as you kept walking, you should have just said Zawaldo, and then that would have made more sense because he's standing still.
Crazy part is like this dude. Okay, so this dude was taking a picture with some. What I think triggered it. Okay, so we were walking. This was when we're still looking at the cars, and I was just walking. And this dude was dressed up, and he had this prop gun. It was on the it fell on the floor, and I thought he dropped it and didn't know. So I was like, "Hey man, your gun's on the floor." So he just looked at me, and I guess he did that I guess he dropped it to take the picture. So I was like, he didn't say anything back. So I was like, oh, okay.
Alrighty.
And we kept walking, and then after he's done with the picture, he came up to me with this gun and just pointed at it. Didn't say a goddamn word, and just stared at me. And I stared back, and Bryan can tell you it was awkward.
He just stood there.
It was very awkward.
So it was just a staring contest, but you didn't even know it was a staring contest until it was too late.
I was put into a very awkward situation, and I was very uncomfortable.
And then just the moments where clearly people need to work on their public skills. We saw that sometimes when people are asking questions at panels.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get a dedicated wham out of there?
No, stop. Stop.
There was also some people there that, clearly had mental disabilities.
Yeah, and that's why I was like saying some people just need to work on certain things. Not saying it like it was terrible or anything, but just certain aspects. It doesn't hurt to practice in the mirror.
Needs improve. What's the recommended amount of
All right. Any final thoughts?
We forgot to play some of those. We forgot to play Sonic the Fighters.
Yes. Oh my god. So also in the gaming area, they had a bunch of like arcade games, a lot of dancing games, like a lot
of Japanese only, like export machines.
There's a whole booth for Just Dance, and I swear to God, every time I passed by that booth, it was always a long line to play a round of Just Dance.
Well, no, the Dance Dance Revolution, Just Dance was on the stage.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I passed by that stage, it was a long line for people to try it out or to play on it. And then there was a ton of arcade machines. Yeah, we never got to play Sonic the Fighters. Every time I saw walk past Sonic the Fighters 2, there was always somebody on there too. That's the other thing. Yeah, and I wish I had spent more time on the retro games. I just walked past it, but I would love to like actually sat down and play a dumb round of OG Smash Brothers. Like bad Smash Brothers.
I meant to go on there too because there were some other retro games that I really wanted to play too. Oh damn, what game was that? They had GoldenEye on there. They had goddamn
They have Crazy Bus?
No. Crazy Bus.
They have Bubsy.
They might have Bubsy, They might have. There was a lot of retro consoles over there, but the main thing was Smash 64.
You probably had Yo Noid too, so that you could have heard that song before you went to the panel.
That game came out 2017.
The Yo Noid game?
Yes.
Yes.
2017. That's what I was at. I was like,
I thought the Noid was in the early 90s, late 80s.
That game came out 2017.
Domino's doesn't even fucking use them anymore. Okay. I'm curious now. Shut up.
Yeah, go look up the game. It's a platformer, if I'm not mistaken.
Intro.
Jesus Christ. All right. This is a long one. It's been an hour and a half. So any final thoughts before we head out?
We definitely gotta for next Momocon. We definitely gotta like do the whole 4-day adventure.
And plan it.
Yeah, plan out which ones we're going to get. Maybe even get a hotel, and so we do the whole, participate in full debauchery.
Yeah,
Debauchery.
I know. Next time I'm cosplaying.
I don't know about all that for me, but I'm afraid to enjoy it.
You have fun with that, champ.
Dontae, any final thoughts?
I think Dontae died. 'Cause we haven't heard him in like 30 minutes.
Dante's thoroughly knocked out. He's in bed now.
Dog, I swear to God, Dontae will fall asleep at the
drop of a hat.
just drop of the hat. The fuck, like snap your finger. And that nigga, he's done.
Listen,
He's out.
He's
with a
like
little
fucking
alcohol.
Rip Van Winkle. Like, good
Bro,
lord.
we will be playing games, and it will be like Dante's wide awake, and then 10 minutes later he's done.
You realize you haven't heard him in a minute.
Like tucked under the blankets, teddy bear under the arm, sucking his thumb, like knocked out. Like a big baby. Well, thanks to special guest Dontae. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming out.
Well, as far as my final thoughts, I would give Momocon about a good 7.8 out of 10. I mean, there's a lot that did go right, a lot that didn't go wrong. Some things I didn't agree with, like the black panelists being in the Goonies and part of the convention center. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I love the merch shopping. I love the imports that they had, and I will definitely come back next year.
Dope.
I really enjoyed my time there. It was like an experience of a lifetime, honestly. I never forgot that.
Yeah,
actually,
it was fantastic seeing you in person, DeYante.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
remember went to that one panel and remember, Squiddy, you remember when we came to you remember when we went to that one panel and did that one thing?
Yeah, it was a panel about whose Dragon Punch comes out faster out of all the fighting game characters that are Shotos.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you remember that one? That one was like 13 o'clock or something like that.
God damn it.
Like,
all right, we're cutting this off. All right. Good.
I'm just saying.
Good. Not the fucking that.
All right, we're done.